So we're somewhere in there in the
We're
11,
somewhere in
12
there.
range. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got some guests that have said they would come on. So that's exciting. We have to get those on the calendar.
Yes, yes. We'll have to
Yeah.
figure that out and
Hmm.
do a little bit of chatting with some of our more rowing friends.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, all right. So I didn't get a chance to brief Adrian on this little idea that I had for today, but I thought it would be kind of fun um, and I think you're going to enjoy it, Adrian. So I thought we could kind of have a thought experiment
Mhm.
and we could play a little time travel game.
Okay.
And we're going to pretend that we are on the University of Buffalo rowing team
Hmm.
in, let's say, 1997, the year that I started, and you had been there a year. And one of us is going back in time from now and showing some technology or, something new
Okay.
that exists in 2025. Maybe it existed earlier than 2025 too, but we're
Okay.
gonna offer it to ourselves back in 1997, and you get to decide if you want to adopt it at that point or eventually it will come to be, right? So you can just
Mhm.
either be patient and wait it out and enjoy what you have at that point, or you can take on the new technology. And you'll see there's kind of like a fun little twist to this at times. So,
Okay.
all right. So you get the gist of the idea, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Now that, yeah, and it's not all specifically rowing related, but
Mhm.
it's our lives in 1997 and basically like being a student athlete, getting to practice, living in that time frame. Okay. And if you have some ideas too, so this might jog your thoughts as we go along because I wrote down a couple things, but we can definitely add more to this as we go.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing, so in 1997, I was living in Porter in the Ellicott complex. So that's like where most freshmen live. And you, I think, lived maybe not that year, your
I
sophomore year, but were you
my
still in
soph
Governors?
Yeah, my sophomore year I was still in Governors. I forget
Okay.
exactly where in Governors I was sophomore year.
Okay.
I think
So we were
I was
both on the
still,
North Campus.
yeah, we were both on the North Campus.
Hmm.
Kelly Papke, shout out to Kelly Papke. Can't think of your real last name now. Um,
Yep.
she was
Noterman, I
driving the
think.
chicken truck. She would drive the chicken truck to West Side Rowing Club. She would take me to West Side and she would blast Shania Twain's new album at the time. Um, it's the one that had the look that looks like we made it song on there.
You're asking the
And
wrong lady, but I get it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right.
the reason we called it the chicken truck is because it was like a truck and
Uh-huh.
like the bed had been taken off of it and somebody had like I don't know if her family or if that's just the way she got it, but so like wooden sides on it,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
basically. Yeah, yeah. So Kelly would drive because I didn't have a car.
Yep.
She was a freshman
Neither
and
did
she
I.
did, and
Hmm.
so she would drive me to practice in the chicken truck. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So first thing, well, I love the chicken truck. That was great. I don't remember seeing it. She used to drive me too, but that was a few years later. She did not have the chicken truck anymore. But well, maybe the chicken truck didn't, but the car that I rode in, because we definitely had to carpool. We were going to West Side at that point. What do you say? Like 20-minute drive, probably in the
Yeah,
morning,
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
20-minute drive plus you had to stop and throw the 50 cents
Well,
into
okay.
the
So if
toll.
that's the first one. Well, actually, that's the second one. The first
Okay.
one is, would you want to have streaming if, even though like you had the technology yourself, it would have to exist in the universe too. Would
Yeah.
you choose to take streaming or would you choose to enjoy the CD experience with the CDs on the sun visor or in the
Yeah.
folder sleeve thing? um, so that you could choose your music based on what CD you put in.
I would choose what we had. And
Hmm.
my reason behind this is I have this whole theory on the fact that like we experienced music in a linear fashion.
Hmm.
So like my kids like because of streaming, like they can hear music out of order. And so like it doesn't make sense. Like the idea that like they could listen to like the Beatles and
Hmm.
then listen to like Megan Thee Stallion, and then they can listen to Led Zeppelin, and then they can listen to like Blondie. Like so, like not music doesn't have a timeline reference,
Hmm.
whereas music from our time had a timeline reference. And the only time you listen to music that wasn't necessarily of the current time would be if you got like a greatest hit CD. Like I
Or if you went to like a 70s party.
Yeah, yeah, like everything was very like chronological, and
Yeah.
so like the music made sense
Hmm.
for the time. And
Hmm.
I kind of miss that. I miss
Hmm.
that music is so non-time based now. Like it can be anything.
Hmm.
Um, I think I miss like, the idea of turning on the radio and hearing like the same couple. I mean, like you can still do that. You still hear
Hmm.
the same couple songs, but you can turn on like Spotify or any streaming service and you can cater your music specifically to your liking. Like you don't even
Hmm.
have to listen to current music if you don't
Yeah.
want to. And I guess in the back in the day you could just listen to the oldie station and never turn on the popular hits,
Hmm.
but the popular hits were just kind of all kind of woven into culture. They were on TV. And TV was, you couldn't stream it and you couldn't pick and
Hmm.
choose. Like everybody was being exposed to the same group of people, same group of music. So I kind of miss that,
Hmm.
like that shared experience. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I say to people, I'm like, "Oh, have you heard blah 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 blah?" And they're like, "Nah, I haven't heard
Right.
it." Where,
Yeah.
where during our time, it would have been like, "Oh, did you just hear the new Destiny's Child album?"
Right.
Like, "Oh yeah, like I've downloaded it on Napster," like like that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
So
And even though I wasn't a big Shania Twain fan, I mean, I certainly know who she is, and I could definitely probably start singing one of her songs right now. So,
yeah, yeah,
all right. I like that choice. I would probably do the same thing. And it was just, different. It was just a thing to look back on and say, you had to pick out that music and you were stuck with it, and it might skip when you hit a bump. But
yep, yep.
all right. So then it brings us to the toll booth, which specifically going to West Side. I mean, back then, I'm pretty sure Easy Pass existed at that point, but maybe not.
I don't think
And
it did.
I
I
don't
think
know.
it was probably in its infancy,
I think so,
and not
probably.
every toll had it, I don't think.
Yeah. And they definitely had the coin. So not every toll was like the coin one where you toss the coins in the basket. So
Hmm.
that was kind of, I don't know. If I think about that, I think about going to West Side. I mean, I think there's also like an Adam Sandler skit, like the toll booth Willie thing, and that also makes me think of it. But
Yep.
it's the coins putting them in the basket thing. I mean, you can't experience that today in 2025.
No, no. I mean, it was an interesting experience because like you wanted to make sure like you tossed them just right so they got in there. And because if you missed, like you'd have to get out of the
Hmm.
car or like
Hmm.
that change was just gone and you have to dig out more change. Or like I just remember, could you only put quarters in there?
I think probably anything other than pennies. That's my guess.
Yeah.
So,
So
because I
I
remember it being a lot of coins at times. So,
Yeah, like
and
counting
it wasn't that much
change.
money.
Yeah, but we carried money. So like we had
Yeah.
like change and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff because we were using quarters for the laundry at school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yep.
would have had like extra quarters floating around.
Hmm.
That's interesting, the idea of like getting rolls of quarters like for college, like bringing them
Yeah.
with you from home,
Yep.
like so that you could do your laundry and then of course pay the toll at West Side and yeah, stuff I hadn't even thought about.
Hmm. So would you keep the coins or go with
Oh,
like
I
Easy
would bring
Pass?
Easy Pass in because I mean there was like a time where like we totally missed and like some either A you had to get out of the car, which then people
Hmm.
start honking. It was like
Yeah.
morning traffic. Like yeah, I have Easy Pass. I would bring Easy
Okay.
Pass. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say so. I'd say I kind of am nostalgic for it thinking about it, but I'd get over it pretty quick because I think just the stress of not, what if you didn't have enough, if you missed and couldn't find it? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right. So we get to practice and we're getting our oars ready. Would you go with, at that point, I would say all of West Side was probably using like the big blade,
Yeah.
pretty rectangular shaped. I mean, we still have probably some of those in our
Hmm.
boathouse now. Or would you go, I had to look this up because again, like a lot of boathouses don't have the newest and the greatest. It
Yeah.
looks like the newest ones that Concept 2 has anyway are called the comp blades.
Hmm.
Um, but the ones before that, which I think looked a little more familiar to me, were the Fat Twos. So they're
Yeah.
definitely rounder with the vortex edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like if I had to choose, I'd choose like a smoothie too or something like that.
Okay.
Like,
Hmm.
but I think the bigger thing would be like understanding what the difference is between these different blade faces and what that's going to mean for your crew.
Mm,
Like,
okay.
like if I
Yeah.
could, like, I mean, I hope our coaches knew,
Hmm.
but if I could go back and like in that time, like, I mean, I don't remember having a lot of like, I didn't get injured while we
Hmm.
rode. So they were doing something right, like,
Hmm.
as far as like load and that kind of thing. But especially as you're learning, it's a heavier blade is helpful in the sense that it gives you more input.
Hmm.
So like learning catch style, learning how to keep the blade locked in. A heavier blade will help with that. I remember I think I learned on the spoons.
Yeah, I
Like
think, yeah, that
because
definitely sounds right.
yeah, because I have a picture from my freshman year where we're rowing at Head of the not, well, they don't call it Head of the Genesee way back when it was the Stonehurst.
Yeah,
And I
Stonehurst, yeah.
think we have Hatchet. Oh, should I go grab the picture? I think I have the picture. Wait one second.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go see what the equipment was. Wait one second.
Okay. All right. So while we do that, think about some of the things that are different now in your boathouse and in your rowing life than when you were rowing or back in the day.
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
my freshman year,
Oh, look at that.
it's black and white because my dad was he worked for Kodak, but he worked in the black and white division. So I'm not that old that our pictures would be in
Oh.
black and white.
I go with
But
color. No, no, black and
yeah,
white's
yeah,
nice
but it
too.
was just that he always took at least one roll of black and white and one
Oh,
roll
that's
of
cool.
color. So there are some
Who's in the
color
boat?
pictures. So I
Do
don't
you
even
know?
know
Do you know
who half
anyone?
these people are. I'm in 5 seat,
Okay.
so I don't know. That's me in 5 seat. A little bit. Why are my arms straighter? And I'm a little bit ahead of everybody. A lot of getting a lot of oomph out of that. But those are those old style collars. Those are probably like a fat blade, like that first hatchet that was like really, really big.
Yeah.
Um,
Wooden handles, it looks like.
wooden handles.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like old school. A nice Vespoli. This looks like it looks we wrote a lot of Vespolis. So
I
I
was,
would guess this is a
yeah,
Vespoli.
I was gonna
Um,
say we mostly rode Vespoli or we had a couple Dorigos.
yeah, yeah.
That's a Vespoli though.
Yeah, that one's a Vespoli. No wing riggers.
Yep.
And yeah, those are the old school white collars that would have the blue clams on them. Yeah, I mean those handles are probably way too big for us.
Hmm.
As girls, like I always feel like those old school, and I have a set of these type of blades in my garage somebody gave me,
Hmm.
and I talked to Concept 2 about it, and they're like, the weight, like you can't shave them down because it's made out of like basswood. And if you shave it down, the actual like wood would snap. So
Oh.
what they have to do is they have to take these handles. Let me see if I can. They have to take that handle and like they have to take it out or cut it off, and then they hollow it out of the carbon fiber, and then they stick one of their new ones in there. And the
Mm.
new wood that they use, I forget what kind of wood they use, but it has enough tensile strength to be smaller.
Okay.
So yeah, very fun.
So what?
Probably. Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
what would you change? So boat wise, like rig, you talked about the riggers being different.
Mhm.
Um, and then also consider that another year later, we would be like changing those
Varsity.
riggers, putting them on, taking them off every
Oh,
day.
oh yeah. Yeah, and I remember we had remember that Hudson 4 that we had that had
Hmm.
the had these huge carbon wing things
Yes.
that were so awkward
Yeah.
and difficult to put on, and we did that every single day. But I think we learned a lot. Like we learned A, how to rig
Hmm.
quickly,
Hmm.
which is a great skill. Like because I
Hmm.
even as when I coached, I was like rigging is so important. You guys need to know how to do it and you need to know what looks wrong.
Hmm.
You know, like I think
Hmm.
that we learned what was right and what was wrong because if you put it on wrong and we went out rowing, your practice was over. Like if
Hmm.
something broke or that was on you. So I think when you put your boat away and you just take it out and put it away and take it out, you kind of forget, like as an athlete, you forget about like this equipment and that like you need to say something or speak up if your oar lock is like you put your oar in there and you go you can go like this, you're missing poppers or oh
Hmm.
poppers. We probably didn't have
Poppers.
poppers.
No.
So like so these riggers were probably all set to one height
Yep.
and you just hoped that like
You could row.
everybody was big enough. And I mean the one thing where you know when a rigger's too low, you're gonna have a person leaning away. So this person who's in two seat,
Hmm.
if she's
Yeah.
leaning away from the rigger like that, the rigger was probably too low for her.
Hmm.
And the person in six seat also, rigger's too low. So I mean like it's you know those types of things. But
Yeah.
like as a coach, you don't have this up, you know, this view
Right.
of above from above the boat, which now I guess would be drones. Like, could we bring in drones
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
coaches could see that view without necessarily having to be up on a bridge? It's like a
So
bridge view. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so then that's the question, right? Like, would you, so now we have drones for, and live streaming for races, right? Which
Mhm.
is awesome in so many ways.
Yeah.
But in other ways, you experience the race within your boat and you just
Mhm.
have your memories.
Yep.
So, which one would you choose? Would you choose to bring in that
Ooh.
live streaming where everyone could see every smirk and grunt that you made to, or would you want to just experience it?
I think I would just want to experience it because I think the experience of being in the boat is different than what you see on the live stream.
Hmm.
Because even because I think back to the Charles in October where I have all of this like really great video from it. People's parents, I mean, because some people's parents were able to be there and take video, so they sent us video. There was the live stream from the Charles. You know, there was a lot of like photographs and those types of things. But I like purposefully during the race, I tried to remember like I tried to be in it and like the feeling and like coming through that last bridge, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I can't do this any longer. And then the race was over. Like, so it was like, you know, like remembering those types of things. I think there's value because
Hmm.
I can always go back and look at it, but it's not the video
Hmm.
memory is not the actual race memory. So I vote race memory
Okay.
and we can leave the video memory. Um,
Yeah.
it can be there or not be there, but I think the
Yeah.
race memory is a little bit different.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, definitely. I agree. All right. So this kind of came up during conversation with my daughter the other day because we are talking about 2K tests.
Ooh.
And I was saying how, at least from what I remember, again, memory, may have not been reality as much as I remember it, but at least in high school, and I feel like in college as well, although it was probably a little bit better,
Mhm.
it was all right, kid, get on that erg and let's see what you got. No
Yep.
race plan, fly and
Mm-mm.
die was the norm.
Yep.
Like, I don't think anyone knew about negative splitting.
Mm-mm.
Or today, which I feel like, the experience is much more like, which kind of tests you need to do in order to know what kind of split you should be doing and what you should be aiming for and how to pace yourself and how to start and a race plan and la 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 la. So, which one would you choose?
I would choose the information
Yeah.
because Like I feel like if I had that information way back when with like
Hmm.
youth and like just
Yeah.
general endurance, oh my gosh, I don't know how close I would have gotten to 7 minutes. I think I could have gone way faster if I
Hmm.
had like more information about what I was doing. Because I feel
Yeah.
like I think it at least for me, like I'm and it just depends. Like some people it's like oh, information overload, it's too
Hmm.
much for them. They just want to get on the machine and just row. So
Hmm.
I guess if you're that type of person, it still would the type of race or 2K that we did way back when would probably be more advantageous where you're just like where the coach is like, hey, everybody get on the machine. We're doing a 2K today. That's the workout today.
Hmm.
But for me, like, yeah, I love the information. I love being able to kind of play around with the numbers, like what do I need to hold here? What do I need to hold then? Like can I negative split this? Like if I give myself an extra beat or two in the beginning, can I do the negative splits for the last thousand,
Hmm.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
I vote technology and information on that one.
Okay, yeah, I think that makes sense. I kind of wish that we had a little bit more of that, because I don't remember any of that. Honestly, I remember the get on the erg and see what you can do for 2,000 meters, and don't like. Hopefully, you won't get to 1,000 and be completely dead.
Yeah, like I think there was talk of fly and die, like just
Right?
I think there
Yeah.
was talk of like don't go out too fast.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
beyond that,
Mm-mm.
I don't really
Yeah.
think that there was much talk
And
beyond.
like maybe the last 500, like there was some talk about how you're almost there, so you can
Almost
go a
there.
little harder.
Sprint. I think there was talk
Bring up the
about
rate.
like yeah, take up the rate, sprint, and there was talk about like just don't kill yourself in that first 500. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, good. All right. So it's race day's coming up. All right. And we have to get to the race. Or for us, we didn't really go too many places that were far, but either way, we have to get
Mhm.
there. And most of the time we either had a bus or sometimes we had the 15 passenger vans.
Mhm.
So let's say we have a race and we're going from Buffalo to Binghamton, I think was where, or actually, you probably had all of your states in Delta Lake, right? Maybe the
I
last one
think
in
so.
Binghamton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have to go to Rome. So it's like
Hmm.
a
Yep.
3-ish hour drive, probably.
Yep.
Um, and you can choose to either have your older rowers or coaches drive,
Hmm.
or you can have one of these new self-driving vans.
Ooh. A
Which one are you
self
choosing?
Yeah, I would go with the self-driving van because
You
it
have
was
no
always a
faith.
little scary. Like way back in the day, you always heard these horror stories about,
Yeah,
oh, it was a soccer team on the
I
freeway
know.
on their way to
Yeah,
blah blah blah, and then it was icy and they ran into a tree or something like
yeah.
so. There's just too many moving parts. Lots of like people having a good time. I would bring the self-driving car back so that
Wow.
for,
Okay.
for safety's sake because I mean especially if like throughway is on a straight line.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that all the technology actually works.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the other
This would
thing.
be like safe, like self-driving cars were, safer and more attentive than a regular driver. I'd vote.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know if I would do that. I mean, I don't know if I trust the technology as much as I would hopefully trust one of my teammates, but or
True.
coaches, but I know why you say that because I know they're college students and some of them haven't
Hmm.
been driving for too long. So
Exactly. I
it's a
can't
lot of
imagine like
responsibility.
sending my son to drive a
Hmm.
15 passenger van full of people, like long
Yeah.
distance. I mean, but like I
Hmm.
think the 19-year-old of today is a little bit different than the 19-year-old
That's true.
of yesterday. Like
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
I mean there's I don't want to say there's a greater responsibility, but I think that in the past you just were exposed to more responsibility more
Hmm.
readily throughout your day. So having the
Hmm.
responsibility at 19 driving,
Hmm.
15 of your teammates, you would be on a little bit of a different level, even at the least mature level of people at that time. Like you'd be on a little bit of a different level than the current kids. Sorry, current kids.
Okay. Yeah. So then would you choose one of the senior rowers as your driver or like a today's brand new coach that just graduated from college?
Ooh, I
I'm
might
trying
choose
to even the playing field a
yeah,
little
I
bit
might choose
here.
the senior driver. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It may depend on the person themselves, but I would have to go with you there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. This is the last one I have written down, but we could definitely come up with some more things.
Okay.
But I've noticed today, and it might just be the style or the way that they're making them these days, but unisuits definitely have a shorter inseam as
Mm.
that's what I've noticed, and a
Yep.
lot of them ride up pretty high.
Yep.
So it almost like you're, not wearing any like
Pants.
pants. Yeah. And I feel like back in our day, they were a much longer inseam. That
Yep.
was, in my opinion, more comfortable when you have to sit
Exactly.
on a seat. There's less rubbing on your actual thighs.
Mm-hmm.
Which one
Yeah.
are you going to choose, Adrian?
I'll choose an old school Udasuit, and I wish I had some. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
very weird. It's like the one thing I didn't keep. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't keep my unisuit, and I didn't keep my I had a really cute like. Did we have it was like a Regatta Central? Was that the not
Oh
Regatta Central, but
yeah.
Regatta Sport?
Regatta
It was
sport.
it was
Hmm.
navy and white, and it was
Yep.
like a long sleeve. Like I wish I still had that, and I
Yeah.
wish I still had because I had two. I think I had two or three unisuits. Like I think I had one from like maybe I didn't have a unisuit my freshman year because it looks like we were wearing long sleeves in this one. And then, but I know that we had a unisuit that we wore um, pre-varsity. And then when
Varsity. Yep.
when we went varsity, we got one. And I think my senior year, I think we got the ones with the little B and then
Hmm.
the stripes down the side. But I remember
Yep.
I believe they were more comfortable. Like the material was heavier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of, I mean, it had lycra to it. Of course, it had stretch, but it was like a thicker stretch. It wasn't, like the stuff that you can get now is just so slippery and like
Hmm.
really thin.
Hmm.
Um, and I agree. Like I'm old school. I love like a biker short. Like even today when I was working out this morning, I have like a biker short with a long inseam. Like I just don't like
Hmm.
my thighs rubbing together. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but like I mean especially even I was just at a track meet with my kids, the girls will wear like those short like almost like underwear shorts is what I think
Yeah.
of. Or
Yeah.
or my sister was a cheerleader. They called them lollipops.
Lollipops. Oh, I
Lollipops. So
think we call.
I don't know who came up with that name,
Hmm.
but it was like kind of like an underwear that you wore over your underwear, and it was kind of
Yeah.
boy short. So
Hmm.
that when you were cheering and did all your jumps and stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
your
I was a
underwear was
cheerleader.
covered. But
Uh, I don't think we called them that though. I think we called them Spanx. I think that's what we
okay,
called them. But
okay.
now I'm questioning that. I'm pretty sure they were though, but that's before, Spanx was like a undergarment, like a,
Yeah,
tummy
like
control
the
and
mm-hmm.
shapers. Yeah. But I feel we call it, look, I'll have to look that one up, but I'm pretty sure that's what we call it. Lollipops. I like that. That's interesting.
And I think we need to bring back like why are the unisuits like tank tops? Like especially for like Northeast, why don't we have a long sleeve unisuit? Long sleeve, long
How
pants.
would you get into that, Adrian? The zipper?
Because I have a it's almost like you have to use like it's
Hmm.
like a scuba style zipper
Yeah.
with the long
Okay.
string. But I have I think it was made by Umbro, but it is like a full like long sleeve unisuit and I've never worn it. I
Hmm.
was like it's really probably for like a fall day
Hmm.
where it's not super cold,
Hmm.
but it's not super warm that you'd want to cover like all the way down. But like why don't we have some of these like a long pant unisuit or like I have like a jumpsuit that I got
Yeah.
from like Dick's where it's like the tank top on top, but then it's like it's a full
Yeah.
length pant.
Yeah.
Why
I
don't we
think
have
people
uniforms like
just
that?
get too hot. I think they need to do the layers.
Yeah, that's
If you're,
true.
yeah, unless you're rowing and like, well, then it's frozen. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I understand it, but like
yeah.
open up the unisuit options. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
generally cold person, so
Hmm.
like when I'm out there rowing, like I'm gonna keep my layers on. So I'll have to
Yeah.
try out this long sleeve thing that I have and try out the tank top and long pant one and see if my
Yeah.
legs get too warm.
Well, in ski coats, they have these venting zippers underneath the arms. Like if they came up with something where you could wear that, and then once you got hot, somehow you could like open
Yeah.
up something that like vents out, so you're not so hot, but you're not, exposed to the elements, I guess. That
I
would be
always
good.
thought that they should do, you know how like some the where I think they're like safari pants where you can unzip the lower part of your pant and it
Yes.
turns it into a pair of
Mm-hmm.
shorts. That's what we need.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There we go. We're coming up with our own stuff. So like we're going back from like 2026 and 7 and going back in time.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other things that, like I was thinking, Cox boxes have evolved a little bit, not maybe not a whole lot, but the look of the Cox boxes, I was looking at some old ones. Um, they definitely have a nostalgic look. They got like the metal toggle on them, the metal dial.
Yeah.
Now they're all plastic and, buttons with arrows and stuff. So,
Yeah, I like the personal data end of it. Like I would have enjoyed having like a watch. So like I could have
mm,
kept track of like all of our workouts
yeah,
and that kind of stuff. Like I think that that's cool. I love the GPS end of like the Cox box now and
yeah,
like stroke coaches being able to like just having the split information. Like we never
hmm.
had any of that. We didn't know how fast we were moving the boat. We knew
That's true.
like if you
Just
finished the race and you won, great.
right.
Like
Their,
like
their
that.
coach might know approximately where 2,000 meters was on the
Yep,
body
or
of
how
water that you were rowing.
yep, and they would
But
estimate and like I don't even think our coaches kind of told us how long it should take us to go through 2,000 meters. Just like it was like
yeah,
beat the people next to you, have fun.
yeah. And
So
plus ours wasn't straight. Once we got to
yeah.
the canal, like,
Hmm.
or wait, what was it? What am I thinking? Tonawanda Creek. Like once we
Hmm.
were on there, there was no
Yeah, it was
straightaways. It was all
yeah,
curvy. Yeah.
yeah.
Icebergs,
Trees, they put boats on
fog.
top of logs, yeah, all that good stuff. We
Hmm.
have just a couple minutes left, and I always
Wow.
think of this question when I'm reminiscing.
Hmm.
Do you think you could, if we dropped you back on February 11th of 2007, do you think it would be you in your mind, in the body of you at that time, do you think you could make it through the day without somebody thinking you were totally bonkers?
I don't know.
You-
Why I don't know where this is going. This is an
Like, do you
interesting
think
thought
you could,
experiment.
yeah, like, do you, like, because I guess February you'd been a senior in high school, right? And to February 11th of
2007, I was not a
no,
high school
oh,
student.
not 2007, 1997.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay,
Okay.
so
All right.
1992, yeah, February of 19, or you can say February of 1998, because you would have been at UB. Do
Yep.
you think if you woke up in the
Hmm.
morning, like, would you know what to do?
Ooh. Like
Like,
me today, waking
do
up in
today?
that time frame, would I know what to do? Well, I wouldn't have my phone most likely, or it wouldn't work, and I would have to figure out like, well, my alarm clock that was in my dorm room melted because those radiators were so hot. So, and it still worked. So, as long as I could figure out how to turn my alarm clock on the night before, hopefully
Mhm.
I did, and then it should go off. And if I woke up, I would be in my dorm room, and most likely I would have, I would know if I was getting up that early that I had practice. So I'd have to get dressed like I was going to practice and try and remember where I'm supposed to meet everybody. Is
Yeah.
this where you're going with this
Yeah,
or
yeah, like
okay.
I don't think I would like I don't know. I think I would I would panic and then I'd be like, okay, I'm like, where did I write down what I need to do? Like, I would know to go to practice. Like, I could probably get through practice, okay. But then
Yeah.
after practice, I'd have no idea, like, what class I was supposed to go to, what was
Hmm.
due, what am I handing in? Because everything would have been handwritten. Like,
Right. Hmm.
I mean, I had like a day timer, a planner, so I probably would have written out, but I wasn't super religious about writing everything in there. I don't know if I'd
Yeah.
have a schedule that I could have found in my dorm room to figure out what I was supposed to
Ooh.
do.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
probably could get to meals and eat because we would just
Mhm.
used our SUNY card. So I would have been able
Yep.
to eat.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess I would be able to, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting though. But I think a dead giveaway, if I my alarm's going off at 5, whatever in the morning, is that it was for practice. So
Yeah.
if I was not a rower,
Hmm.
that would be harder to get my day started, right?
Yeah.
Because who knows what my day would look like. But if it starts with practice, at least you have that. You could ask people some questions.
Pretty cool. Well, we've only got like one more minute left.
Okay.
But yeah, this was a fun experiment.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
we'll have to do this one again, and we'll kind of,
Hmm.
do the different timelines of different times. What would we bring back and
Hmm.
what would we do? It's pretty amazing stuff. And then we're
Yeah.
gonna schedule our new friends or
Hmm.
our old
Yep.
friends for new podcasts. And
Yeah. So we've got
yeah.
our a former coach, a former rower who is a Paralympian and a motivational speaker, and
Mhm.
then a friend that said she wanted to join us. That was one of our coxswains. So
Excellent.
yeah. All
Well,
right.
have a great
See
rest
you
of the
soon.
day. Everybody
Yeah.
who's listening, thanks for listening. And we'll keep you posted with our new guests.
Sounds good. Bye, Adrian. Bye, everybody.
Take care.